Hello
Can you
and
hear me?
welcome to this final episode of the Brynka Beacon. Today's presentation is going to be starting here, setting yourself up for success in 2024. Thank you for joining us today. Go ahead and move on to the next slide and we'll get started here. So welcome to this episode of the Brynka Beacon. This is a free forum for sharing ideas. So we invite you to listen, learn, and participate. And this is brought to you by Brynka today. Today on our call, we have Brenda Fick, our president, Peggy Smith, an industry leader and speaker. I'm your host of the Brynka Beacon, Jen Young, and we have Todd DeVries on in the background organizing everything for us. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Today, we're going to look at this 6-part webinar series. This is the final part of this series and the last Brynka Beacon for 2023. And we will have more information at the end of the webinar to let you know what you can look forward to coming first quarter of 2024. So we'll go ahead and hand this over to our first presenter here. Welcome, Brenda. And Peggy.
Thank you, Jen. I can't believe it's the end of 2023. How fast is it going? It's so fast. So what I decided to do this year was Brynka has endeavored to put the EOS model in our business. It has a lot of good information. It makes your department, your organization stronger. And I wanted to give the opportunity to our business partners for free the information that we have learned along the last probably 2 years that we have been doing this. So our webinar consisted of leadership. We only are good as our people, core values, what gets measured gets improved, motivating your team, setting yourself up for success in 2024 is today's discussion. So this EOS model will incorporate a lot of ways and a lot of information to help grow your department or your business. So the next screen we're going to take a look at will kind of go over first the leadership, which was February 16th. And if you need any of these Brynka beacons, they're all on our website. Just go to brynka.com, look at about, and you'll see Brynka beacons. And we have done over the last few years 20 different Brynka beacons. So you can view any of those or all of those. They're very, very helpful tools. Leadership. So we started with leadership because as a leader of your department, there's different styles and there's different principles within a leadership that you need to follow. And one of the things that I mentioned in the previous meeting was the last one, model the way. When I first became a leader, it was in Bradley's. I was 16 years old and I was a supervisor. So I was always older for my age when I was younger. So I did not lead. I was not a good model and I did not lead properly. And I remember yelling at a clerk, and I saw my father come up to me and I thought, oh, he's going to be so proud of me being a supervisor. And instead he said, is that the way you would want to be treated? And I realized that, okay, I'm doing it wrong. So I've always tried to make sure that what I do is exemplary as much as possible, and that the people that I lead understand that this is the way we need to do it. And it's very hard at times. One of my biggest flaws is patience. And so I'm continually learning it all the time. And as leaders, we need to do that. We are always, we definitely have tendencies where, we want to get it done. And sometimes that leads into the wrong way. But we always want to make sure that we're improving our leadership styles. So the next screen that we will consider is on April 13th, we're only as good as our people. So again, look at that video that's on our website. It does show you how there is a people analyzer tool. If you have the wrong people, then it's going to be very hard for you to get anything accomplished within your department. And the one thing, when you structure your accountability, make sure you're looking at what you need and not the people, and then fit the people with what you need. Next slide. Core values. This is another thing that every department should have their own core values that their people follow. Brynka's core values: customer-centric, do the right thing, go the extra mile. It's in all of our literature, it's in our website, it's everything we do. We make sure that our business partners know this is all about Brynka. So that was, and then August 8th, what gets measured gets improved. And this is very, very important, because we're going to talk about this when we look at 2024. Because if you want to improve something, you need to know what you want to improve, what you're doing now, and how to get there. So this is going to be looked at even more today to build what you need to do for 2024 and talk about what you want to do in 2024. So the next meeting was motivating your team. So I have been working on the different 6 types of working genius. If you could go to the next slide. And I really didn't look at this until I was given this book. Actually, Jen suggested that I read this book. And after reading this book, I realized that everybody has their unique genius, meaning there's something that they really love to do. And if you are giving them that genius, if you are giving them, so for example, the genius of invention, for somebody that wants to invent or create, if you give them the opportunity to do that within your department, they're going to excel. If you give it to somebody that, doesn't like to do that, doesn't like to invent, maybe they just are the genius of enablement, which is whatever you give them, they want to get it done. They're task oriented. They want to do it. Tenacity. Tenacity is the type of person that makes sure if you have a checklist, they're going to go through and get that done. So if you have a combination of all of these different geniuses and you give them the work that they really love to do, your team will definitely flourish and your department will definitely grow. So for today, we're going to start looking at how we can set up success for 2024. We're going to provide you with examples. We're going to look at how you can possibly enhance your department and maybe some of the resources you need to achieve these enhancements. So remember, when you're picking these out, you want to do it for the whole year, but you only want to do 2 to 3 per quarter and work towards them with your team. So how do you create your scorecard? So the way that you create your scorecard is, this is an example that is on the EOS website. So this kind of shows you how that scorecard works. So these are the measurables that you want to improve or you want to look at to improve. You have goals for each of those for the whole year. And then you have people who are going to give you this measurable information. And then every single week, you are going to look at it and determine, did it go well? Did it not go well? If it did not go well, how can I improve? So if you're looking at this every single week and understanding your scorecard, you are going to always be looking at, how can I improve? It's a really, really good tool for any department to use. The next slide, we're looking at, Peggy and I were talking about some measurables. And obviously, revenue is one. Every department, and specifically, we were looking at mail services side. When you're looking at mail services, you have shipping that you can provide. You have mail. You have, maybe marketing mail. A whole ton of services that you provide, and you sell that service. And then you also have the services. Who does it? You have finance. You have marketing. You have technology. So we're going to look at those in a tool for the scorecard so that you can see possibly how to take a look at that. So the next screen, we're going to look at a sample departmental scorecard. So if the first thing you have to decide is, okay, you need to start someplace. So if you say, last year I did $500,000, what do I want to do to improve that? And normally, if you're just starting this year, you need to understand what you did this year. So that's a biggie. So if you don't know, there's got to be a way for you to find that out. And if you don't understand, usually you could talk to your manager or their manager, and they will know what revenue you have in your department. So let's say you're doing $500,000 in sales this year. Next year, you want to increase by 20%. So you want to go to 600,000. So that means in the total year, you want to go to $600,000, which means monthly, you want to do $50,000. So when you look at that, you can now take that even into weekly and every single week, or you can look at it at every month as well. Again, you could do this weekly, you could do this monthly. The more you do it, though, the more you will be able to align with this didn't happen, why. So if you're looking at 50,000 and then you got to start looking at the detail, because if you did 40,000, you're lining yourself with this year, what can you do to improve? So the other scorecard that you want to put in your sales is, how can I improve? For example, if you do handling fees of shipping and you do $8 per package at $500 a month, and you're going to grow and you do $10 instead of $8, that gives you automatic sales increase, which should increase from last year to increase by 6,000 every month this year. And again, you should understand monthly what you did last year. So monthly, you can look at what you're doing this year, because you may have a seasonal business where you're doing a lot more in September, October, you're doing little in November, you're doing not much in December, January. You need to have those ups and downs so you can look at it accordingly each month. One of the other things that Peggy and I were looking at is maybe you want to do rental services over the summer, or just add additional revenue from students that maybe they're commuter students. They don't have a place where they're at residence halls, but they want to use the lockers. They like to have that security. Maybe it's something that you could say, okay, I'm going to charge $75. And again, you need to look at it as, if I have 5,000 students, what is my benchmark? What can I say on my scorecard I want to try and get to? So say you want to do 10% or 5%. That number would translate to the total year of 75,000. So I'm saying it's 1,000 students out of the 5,000 students. So it's 75,000, which translates to so much per month. So again, this is something that you may get in one shot, but it can be spread upon, monthly, weekly, whatever that is. The other thing we were just thinking of is meter service. So in meter service, we were thinking of, just having some additional services. And it's going to go from, we're going to add 10%. And this year, we're going to add 15% of different add-ons. So that translates again to a year. And then you go monthly, and then you can break it down every month, every week. So we have a few attendees. I was hoping to hear from anyone. You could put in the chat if anyone has any other kind of ideas or information is, if do they track revenue? And if they track revenue, do they have a goal for next year? Anyone?
I'm keeping an eye on a chat. I'll let you know as answers filter in here.
Okay. So if there's anything that you want to add in the chat, just go ahead and add it. And I have a special prize for those that put something in the chat at the end. For anyone that gives us additional information, we're going to give them a gift certificate. So Amazon gift card. So go ahead and chat away and give us some information. The next scorecard I was going to look at is customer service. Whoops, I'm sorry. Can you go back? So the next is customer service. So one of the things we were thinking of is surveys. That's always a good way to find out how well you're doing in customer surveys. So if you have a website and you have a certain area within your website, maybe there's something more that you can do to, get more surveys done. Or if you're sending out emails or you're doing anything in the beginning, or a quarterly thing, sending out emails is always a good way to find out what your students, what your faculty want from your department. If anybody else has anything else that they do for customer service, what they do, you're more than welcome to put it in the chat. It's welcome to, because I do like to get other people's information of what they do, especially when it comes to creating a scoreboard card for you. Customer service, we have a happiness rating. Every time a service is done, a happiness rating is sent out, and they can, and nice thing is Brynka is 99%, which is always good. But we also send out, anytime we have a new install, we send out a survey, make sure that everything is done well and they are happy and satisfied with Brynka. Again, there's many ways that you can improve that customer service. And again, you want to make it a part of your scorecard to improve what you're doing now and keep track of it. Marketing.
We do have a couple comments coming in, Brenda.
Oh, good, good. I hate talking all the time.
Mm-hmm. So someone mentioned that they kept track of revenue, but because they were not a for-profit department, but rather a cost center, it was hard to try to improve income or sales because our focus was only on service, not income. And then another comment was that at Christina's organization, we used to do an annual survey to our members. We found that doing shorter pulse surveys are getting more interaction.
Okay, so how are you doing that pulse survey?
So I think that's a shorter survey sent out more frequently.
Okay. Email. Okay.
No.
All right. That's good. Okay. Thank you, Christina.
And she mentioned she thinks they use
Survey
Monkey.
Years ago, that's what we used to, remember? Many years ago.
Yep.
Do you remember that? We did use Survey Monkey. That's very interesting. Marketing. So marketing is one of the ways is obviously redesigning the website for your department. And sometimes if you're in a university, they're going to allow you a certain area so you can create and do what you would like to do. Working with your IT department and the marketing department within your organization is a great way to, one, get them to work. They work for free a lot of times. And you can, if they give you a space on their website, you can create, I know for Wash U, they created, what did you create, Peggy? I forget. You created videos, you created
YouTube videos. hmm Yeah, how-to videos, things to think about for marketing mail, the non the uh, nonprofit mail, what qualifies, what doesn't. Um, and so I believe we've got another comment. What the previous comment in the chat um, from Lori.
They got a PR person. Yay.
Yeah,
That is
that
always
can help with YouTube videos and help
yeah.
with keeping track. A website. You can start with a website. You can add to it. You can add forms to it. You can campus-wide communication. Yes, thank you, Lori. Um, when there's maybe a change in your delivery, be able to communicate that through your website by all means.
One of the favorite videos that you had was if they made an incorrect address and how
Okay.
horrible. It was very
Tale of
funny, but
two
it
letters.
really, really showed
Yeah.
that if they do not address their envelopes or packages appropriately, it really does cause a huge amount of headaches. So I thought
Right.
that was really good.
Yeah, that was a tale of two letters. It
Yeah.
was cleverly done, but it's so true how often you receive things that are not properly addressed. Maybe just a first name, maybe just a last name, nothing. It's just a matter of, okay, what do you do with this piece of mail? And people don't understand that. The research sometimes that you have to go through to make sure it gets to the right person and that what you were handling is safe
That's a
as
real
well.
biggie. Actually, one of the things that in the workflows that I tell the universities when they start having a locker system, that if they don't fill it out appropriately, they have to come and get their package, so that you can give them the information. This is how you need to fill out your label on their package or the label on your mail. And let them know that if they do this, they will be able to get their package or mail within the locker system. So that's always a biggie that I work on the workflows when we're doing lockers.
And Lori shared the link to the Tale of Two Letters in the
wow.
chat that
Thank
others may be able to see. I don't know if we'll be able to show that here, but it's a really quick video. Maybe if there's a show of hands or some feedback, if you want to see that, maybe we can go ahead
Yeah,
and
raise
show
your
that.
hand if you want to show that at the end. We
Yeah.
could definitely do that. All right. The next is technology. Of course, we put research lockers. It is our latest passion. Everybody is doing it. If you can't, Amazon, all of them have lockers, and it really is the latest technology tool to get packages, letters faster to your faculty and students. So you may want to put on, if you don't have them, do the research. And, obviously, with Brynka, you want to do research. We've been doing it for 8 years. So we have a lot of different things that you can look at and information. And matter of fact, one of the Brynka beacons on there on the Brynka site is how do you choose a locker system. So it gives you a lot of insight in that for free. So go ahead and take a look at that. Budgets. So a lot of you may not do a budget for your department, but if you are trying to save money, one of the biggies can always be negotiate your business partners contracts. And maybe you don't sign off on them, but you definitely can take a look at them, understand them. And I'm sure if you're not doing them now and you let your manager know that you would like to research and like to do more of it, I'm sure they will be very, very happy that you are doing that. Each of the managers in each of our departments, if they want to find something, if they want to do it, they need to research it first and then present it to the management group. So, and I welcome anybody that wants something, additional technology or you know, something that's going to save me money, I definitely welcome that. So it's something that you may want to put in your scorecard, talk to your management team, see what they think. So, so what is the next slide? Okay, so Peggy, we do have some people that wanted to watch it, the video.
Okay.
So Todd,
Okay,
I'm
check.
gonna, you want to stop your screen? And then I'm gonna see if this can work. It may not work with the, I'm not sure. Can you hear it, Peggy?
Welcome to Masterpiece Theater. Today we'll be reviewing the powerful concept of happy letter, sad letter. And what makes a happy letter? Why is it so important to make your letter happy? In our dramatic interpretation, we reveal the secrets of what it takes to get your letter to its destination. Masterpiece Theater presents A Tale of Two Letters. Now, let's take a look at what makes a happy letter happy.
Yeah, having a little trouble with the sound.
Morning, Steve. I have a letter for you.
Thank you, Lord.
It looks like it might be good news.
Oh, let's see. Oh, it's great news.
A happy letter that's deliverable includes three main components: a return address, appropriate postage, and a deliverable recipient address, including campus box and name. And this is a sad letter. It's just addressed to Steve. Here at Washington University, we have approximately 275 Steves on staff. As a matter of fact, in mail services, we have 2. Steve, you want this letter? How about you? You want to open this letter, Steve?
No, thank you. It's not mine.
Nobody wants to open this letter. Come on, guys.
That's funny.
I love that video.
Even our unhappy letter had the opportunity to become a happy letter if it had had a.
So anyone can visit that. If anyone wants to see that, we can definitely, Peggy would be happy to share that information, as well as Lori.
Yes,
Thank
and
you,
Dale,
Lori,
who
for
created.
sharing that. But that's just some of the things you could do for marketing. So Todd, do you want to bring us back to where we left off, please? Okay, Peggy.
All righty. Well, once again, thank you, Brenda, and for Todd and Jen for taking us through this. I'm going to again encourage folks on this webinar to contribute. Think about some of the things that you have done throughout the year, this last year in particular, and how you want to be able to build upon that. What additional things will you add to your scorecard? All right. So perhaps did you get new receiving equipment? Looking at metering mail, we've got there's a compliance matter that the USPS has indicated that they are going to require meters to have certain compliance. So that's something that you have to work towards, and you have a deadline to do that. And so you can track that throughout the year that you identified it as an item that you have to address. And each month or every quarter that you look at it, you can work with your team to see how far you have gotten into achieving that goal. All right. So again, encourage you to include in the chat so you to be eligible to win a gift card. So again, we'll go ahead on to the next slide. Thank you. So think about, again, when you're looking at some of the things that Brenda has brought up here, the measurables, the things that you're going to do to enhance your department and how you're going to get there. There's lots of steps to achieve success. And there's things that are universal for each of those. In order to reach a goal or an enhancement that you have identified for your department, for your team, for the university, you have to have a plan. How are you going to reach that plan? There's going to be a lot of steps. In the case of the meter compliance, you have a deadline. So you have to be able to have that plan, maybe an outline of what it's going to take to reach that goal. You have to have self-discipline. You have to have self-control so that you can follow through in reaching the goal. And sometimes, you know, as I've said before, people, your department, your manager, your director, indicated, no, we can't do that now, but always still try to keep it in mind and don't give up. You know, remain positive so that you can try to achieve it when the time is right. You have to remain focused on the things that you want to add, want to enhance. So that's an important step also, is to remain focused. Systems, you have to work with perhaps your IT department, maybe your marketing department, certain areas so that you can involve those steps, the systems in order to make those visions and those enhancements possible. And you have to take action. So now if you've gotten the approval and you've got the backing from your management team to be able to move forward with an enhancement, then you have to be able to follow through with taking the steps in order to see that through. So again, some of the things that you can think about, the steps to success. Very good. Thank you. The next slide here, we're going to be talking about, and one of the things that I have often been reminded when, if it's changing a role that you have within your department, if you're trying something new and maybe you're not getting anywhere, you have to remember your why, you know, and sometimes we can get burnt out on the things that we're trying to do, and especially if we're constantly getting perhaps, no, we can't do it at this time, no, we don't have the money, and you know that can burn you out. But you know, we don't get burnt out because of what we do, we get burnt out because of how we do it sometimes. So sometimes you've got to find new ways to ask, you have to find new ways to do things, and when your purpose is greater than your challenge, then you can keep moving it forward. So again, just try to remember to mix it up and find new ways to do things. You have to continue to have a vision, and knowing where you are going is powerful. Okay, but even more successful if you know why you are heading in that direction. Again, reminding why you were here, and reminding yourself, well, what differences is it going to make? And oftentimes it's going to make a great difference. And we have to remind those that we are working with that it may not work out this next year, but you know, we don't want to lose sight of it. And this is why. And if you fail, or again, if you're told that you cannot do something, you've got to get back up. Again, if you fail, remember that it's not meant to define you, it's meant to refine you. So be persistent, be positive, remain professional, and keep on trying. I do know at Washington University, and thanks to Dale and Lori who are on this call, and others, that it takes a lot of persistence in making things happen, years and years sometimes. So don't give up. So we'll move on to the next slide. And again, along the same lines of working towards the success and the things that you want to bring forward to enhance your department, you need to have inspiration. You need to maintain determination. You want to have innovation. You want to be able to always retain and maintain and display excellence and professionalism. And it's okay to have a passion for what you do. If it's in marketing, if it's in sustainability, if it's warehousing, that you've got an issue that you really want to be able to resolve and enhance, make known the passion that you have for that, and have a vision to see it through. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? And once again, I encourage you to include some things in the chat so that you are have a chance at the gift cards that we have. Go on to the next slide, please. So again, you think about the leaders. We talked about the leadership. We've talked about measurables. We've talked about budgets and service and those kinds of things. Leaders lead change. Change can be scary at times. Change is evident in every organization, in every department that we might have worked in. And you need to embrace change, embrace innovation. Some people are okay with having the same thing day in and day out, but embrace change and embrace innovation. You can progress through change. It allows an organization to thrive. And change does generate power from your past to create your future. And again, one of the inspirations that I've had along the way is an author, John Gordon, and a speaker is creating a culture is like a tree. It takes years to cultivate and grow, yet it can be chopped down in a minute. So don't let people degrade your enthusiasm or your innovation or your passion. It may take a while for others to see that. And just again, never to give up. As a leader, you can lead change and bring enhancements for your department. And I would love to hear about some of the enhancements that each of you have had along the way. Again, success. You have to be able to go on and move to the next slide, Todd. Thank you. Analysis. You always have to be able to analyze the changes that you want to make. You need to communicate what solutions those changes may bring about. You need to develop the processes that will lead that change, will make those things happen. Remain objective. Incorporate your team. Again, don't lose track of your vision. And sales, I never thought of my person as a manager, as a senior manager or a supervisor in the area of sales. However, we have to sell what we're doing. We have to have confidence in what we are doing. But the key to make a sale is to get what you need, is to never give up and to have the persistence. to make that sale, make that change happen. And that can lead to success. Jen, do we have anything in the chat that we can talk about some of the changes and enhancements that our group here has shared?
Nothing in the chat now, no.
Okay. All right. So we have an opportunity here to see, again, we've had some contributions already, and we do have a gift card. So Jen and Todd will take a look at that. But for next year, speaking of vision and enhancements, Brynka likes to continue and plans to continue to offer webinars. And we'd like to hear from you what you would like to see. But Jen, if you would share with us what our first webinar is going to be in 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Peggy. So our first webinar in 2024 is going to be on February 6th. And that's called Your Mail Center Has a Brand. And we're going to have a guest speaker for that, Mike Porter. And Mike Porter is president of Print and Mail Consultants at PMC Content Services. He helps organizations optimize their print and mail production by creating and promoting custom content. He also has written a popular column in Mailing Systems Technology magazine for 14 years in a row, and has authored thousands of publications that he's done in print and online. So we look forward to having Mike Porter next year on February 6th. Invitations will be going out for that shortly, so you can go ahead and register for that in advance. And then Brenda, did we have the winner of today's gift card from all of the people that posted in the chat? We've randomly drawn a gift card winner.
So actually, we're going to have two cards because they're kind of tied. So we're going to do $25 for Laura Brady from Washington.
Brady. Okay.
And $25 from Christina. And I'm not sure where you're from, but I'm sure we'll be able to figure that out.
Christina Simmer.
Yeah, Christina Simmer. So thank you very much for participating in our Brynka Beacon the end of this year, 2023.
Yeah, so if both of you ladies want to go ahead and email info@brynka.com where you would like your gift card sent, we'll get those shipped out as soon as possible here.
They're actually going to be emailed to them. So
oh, great. So if you can put your email in an email to info@brynka.com, then you'll get it even faster.
Yes. Personal email, not business, personal email.
Okay.
And I just thought of perhaps, doing a survey with what we have offered this year in the way of Brynka Beacons, so that we can get feedback from all of the folks who have attended throughout the year. So we'd love to hear from you. And that's nice, Will, that you put a congratulations in there. Thank you for doing that, Will.
Thanks for being here, Will.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you very,
Yeah.
very much. We'll see you next year.
Okay. Everyone have a
Bye.
wonderful
Bye,
holiday.
everyone.